Hello friends. Back with me again, Joseph, your host, and welcome back to our channel. Have you ever felt completely alone? Like the world has forgotten you, and your suffering is invisible to everyone else? Today, we're going to talk about a woman who knew that feeling better than most, but turned her profound solitude into a beacon of hope for countless others. This is the story of Saint Genoveva Torres Morales, a woman who endured unimaginable pain and isolation, yet became known as the Angel of Solitude. Her life is a powerful testament to how even our deepest wounds can become sources of incredible strength and compassion. Genoveva Torres Morales was born on January 3, 1870 in Almenara, a small town in Spain. She was the youngest of 6 children, born into a humble, hardworking family. But from the very beginning, her life was marked by tragedy. Before she even turned 8 years old, she had lost both of her parents and 4 of her siblings. This unimaginable series of losses left young Genoveva and her older brother Jose as the only survivors of their immediate family. Jose, only 18 himself, took on the responsibility of raising his little sister. While he cared for her basic needs, Jose was a quiet, reserved man, and their home was one of silence and solitude. Genoveva grew up without the warmth of a mother's hug or the playful companionship of other children. This deep sense of isolation became a defining feature of her childhood. But this was only the beginning of her trials. At the age of 13, she developed a severe infection, or a tumor, in her left leg. The pain was excruciating. In the 1880s, medical care was rudimentary, especially for the poor. The doctors decided that the only way to save her life was to amputate her leg at the thigh, and they performed this brutal operation without any anesthesia. Can you even imagine the agony? This event left her permanently disabled, needing to use crutches for the rest of her life. During the long, painful recovery that followed, Genoveva found her refuge. Confined to her home, she dove into spiritual reading. In the silence of her room, she began to build a profound interior life, a deep personal relationship with God. Instead of growing bitter about her constant pain and physical limitations, she began to believe that God had a special plan for her. Her solitude was no longer just an absence of people. It was becoming a space filled with divine presence. She found comfort in the idea that her suffering had a purpose, even if she couldn't yet see it. 2 years later, at the age of 15, Genoveva left her brother's home and moved into a house of mercy in Valencia, which was run by Carmelite nuns. Here, she learned to sew and found a sense of community she had never known. Surrounded by the rhythms of prayer and work, her desire for a religious life blossomed. She felt a strong calling to join the Carmelites, to dedicate her entire life to God within their cloistered walls. However, her dream was shattered. The Carmelite order, like many others at the time, had strict rules regarding the physical health of its candidates. Her disability, the very result of the suffering that had deepened her faith, was seen as an insurmountable obstacle. She was denied admission. It was another painful rejection, another closed door. For nearly a decade, she lived with the Carmelites, loving their way of life, but unable to officially join them. In 1895, after 10 years at the hospice, she had to leave. The path she thought was hers was blocked. Once again, she faced an uncertain future, carrying the weight of her physical pain and the sting of rejection. But Genoveva's faith was not the kind that breaks easily. If the existing doors were closed to her, she would have to build a new one. During her time in Valencia, living on the margins of the religious community, she became acutely aware of a hidden suffering in the world around her. She saw countless elderly women who were living in poverty, abandonment, and profound loneliness. They were women who had outlived their families, had no one to care for them, and were largely invisible to society. Their solitude mirrored her own, and her heart went out to them. This was it. This was the purpose she had been searching for in the depths of her own suffering. God wasn't calling her to a quiet life behind convent walls. He was calling her to be a light in the darkness for these forgotten women. Her own experience of isolation had given her a unique empathy, a special key to unlock the hearts of the lonely. With this newfound mission, she began to seek guidance from priests, including a Jesuit named Martin Sanchez, who encouraged her vision. The idea was simple but radical: to to create homes for these women that were more than just shelters. She wanted to build places of dignity, companionship, and spiritual comfort, places where they would feel loved and valued. It was a daunting task for a woman with no money, no powerful connections, and a significant physical disability. But Genoveva possessed something far more powerful: unwavering faith and immense courage. On February 2, 1911, in Valencia, the very first house was opened. This marked the birth of a new religious community, the Congregation of the Sacred Heart of Jesus and the Holy Angels. The sisters who joined her came to be known affectionately as the Angélicas, or the Angélicas. The name was perfect. They were to be like angels of comfort, sent to minister to those living in the solitude of old age and abandonment. Mother Genoveva, as she was now known, led the community not through grand pronouncements, but through her own example of gentle, patient love. Despite her constant physical pain and reliance on crutches, her spirit was indefatigable. She traveled across Spain, overseeing the establishment of new houses. One after another, communities were founded in major cities like Barcelona, Santander, and Zaragoza. She managed the finances, guided the spiritual formation of the new sisters, and most importantly, created a warm, family-like atmosphere in each home. Her leadership style was characterized by what those who knew her called a freedom of heart. She had a surprising sense of humor, often making light of her own ailments. She refused to let her suffering define her or make her bitter. Instead, it made her more compassionate, more understanding of the hidden pains of others. Her famous motto captures her spirit perfectly: "Even if I must suffer greatly, thanks be to God's mercy, I will not lack courage." This wasn't a denial of her pain. It was a declaration of her faith. It was a promise to keep moving forward, to keep loving, to keep serving, no matter the cost. As the years went on, Mother Genoveva's health continued to decline. In her final years, she became almost completely deaf, adding another layer to the solitude she had known her whole life. Yet, her inner peace remained unshaken. In 1953, her life's work received its highest official recognition when Pope Pius XII granted formal papal approval to her congregation. Her small, fragile seed of an idea had grown into a strong, fruitful tree recognized by the entire church. Having accomplished her mission, she resigned as Mother General of the congregation in 1954. Passing the leadership to the next generation of sisters, she spent her last years in the community's house in Zaragoza, surrounded by the loving care she had so generously given to others. On January 5, 1956, 2 days after her 86th birthday, Genoveva Torres Morales died peacefully. Her death was not an end, but a final, quiet testimony to a life lived entirely for God and for others. The story of her holiness, however, did not end there. The sisters of her congregation and the countless people she had helped never forgot the angel of solitude. Her reputation for sanctity spread, and soon the formal process for her canonization began. On January 29, 1995, Pope John Paul II beatified her, officially recognizing her as blessed. This was a joyful affirmation of her life of heroic virtue. The final step came a few years later. On May 4, 2003, during a visit to Madrid, Spain, Pope John Paul II canonized her, declaring her a saint for the Universal Church. The woman who was once rejected by a religious order because of her disability was now officially recognized as a model of holiness for all believers. Saint Genoveva's legacy is not just in the houses her congregation continues to run, but in the powerful message of her life. She teaches us that our deepest wounds do not have to be a source of despair. They can be transformed. Our loneliness doesn't have to isolate us. It can open our hearts to the loneliness of others. Our suffering doesn't have to crush us. With faith, it can become a source of profound strength and compassion. Saint Genoveva Torres Morales reminds us that there is no suffering, no rejection, no isolation so great that it can separate us from the love of God, and that in turning to comfort others, we often find the very comfort we seek for ourselves. She truly was an angel, not just of solitude, but of hope. Thank you for joining us to learn about the incredible life of Saint Genoveva. If her story touched you, please like and share this video, and subscribe to our channel for more stories of faith that can inspire our daily lives. May her courage give you strength in whatever trials you may be facing. Thanks for watching. Take care, everyone. Stay healthy and hungry for holiness. See you next time, and God bless you always.